Meanwhile, Thomas Gravesen in the news, Kev, former teammate of yours.
Yes.
Now worth an estimated 80 million.
How?
Living in Las Vegas because he's gone into poker and business and he's made loads of money, mainly off poker.
Yeah, no, he's not playing. I believe he invested in an online platform, poker platform.
So ignore my playing poker line.
Yeah, but essentially it was poker. What you're saying though, yeah, it wasn't
he
from playing.
invested in business.
It brought him to the dance.
Yeah,
but he lives in Las Vegas and he's worth about 80 million now.
That's a quality post-football career,
yeah,
isn't
it? I mean,
it's better than running a pub in Solihull. It's just you're going off to live in Las Vegas and live the high life.
If you'd say, you know, when you were training with Gravesen, if someone had said to you, that lad over there, he's going to play for Real Madrid and be worth 80 million.
Well, he's a very good player. I'll give him that.
And you're going to be an off the ball.
Brilliant footballer. Was certainly underrated. I mean, honestly, class player.
You don't end up at Real Madrid.
I'm saying reason. Class.
Talk more.
Class player. Really good footballer.
Not just a hard man.
Oh, he's not a hard man. He couldn't tackle his dinner. He was soft. Seriously, he was so soft. Wouldn't go in for a tackle with anyone. Everyone thought he was this skinny with a hard man. Oh,
he just looks like one.
He used to pull out tackles, and lads like, Tommy, get into him. Yeah, you know, but a lunatic.
Yeah. Don't want to.
Yeah,
because for Real Madrid, he was their only.
Well, that's what he was signed off. He was signed as a holding midfielder,
which led me to presume he could tackle.
No, he couldn't tackle. Couldn't tackle at all. We used to have a masseur called Jimmy Comer at Everton. Talking about massages again. Jimmy would be giving Tommy a massage, and you get one of the lads coming in on a Friday and say he'd be coming up against Vieira or Roy Keane, and he'd go to Tommy, up against Roy Keane tomorrow, Tommy, you got to watch yourself, and get in his head. And the masseur saying, look, just leave him alone, because just let him go and play, don't let him think about things like this, it kills him. But he was a lunatic. The one thing the best story with Tommy would be, there was a bit of drain pipe that had come loose at the training ground, and Tommy was using that as a rocket launcher to fire like rockets, fireworks out of the drain pipe across the training ground at lads training at the far side of the pitch. Now, I'm not condoning that in any way, shape or form.
Firework season's over, it's grand.
But Gravesen was firing out of a drain pipe at lads on the training ground. Gravesen he has a screw loose somewhere along the line, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, you've stolen my thunder, because it was James McFadden who was doing an interview recently, and he was he talked about Gravesen's crazy Danish scouts.
Yeah, he was like Molby.
Yeah, and he tells the fireworks story as well. So you haven't made this up.
Oh yeah, no, I've totally not made it up. Is Faddy on about that? Is he? Yeah.
He brought fireworks in one day. That's the thing. You have to go and buy the fireworks to bring them in.
What's in the bag, Tommy? That's just some fireworks. It's a grand story about it.
Physio's room was one side of the pitches, and the physio was one of the fittest guys at the club. He was out running with the injured players.
He was, I swear.
When Tommy comes out with a big rocket and fires it at him. Tommy Gravesen. He goes on to say that Gravesen lived with Lee Carsley.
Yeah.
Gravesen, he says of Gravesen, he made sure he had no outgoings and no bills. He lived with Lee Carsley. He had a nice car, but in the winter he'd sell it and buy a Renault Megane, because that's a winter car, and in the summer he wore new Hummel boots.
Very true.
With new Hummel boots. In the winter he dug out some leather ones, which he called his winter shoes.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like a champ.
Honestly, Gravesen.
Can we get Thomas Gravesen on the show?
Oh, I'd love to get Tommy on.
From Vegas.
Love to get him on, yeah. Live from Vegas, yeah.
I think we should go out there and do an LB with him.
If we can't do that.
Listen, he sounds like somebody who's worthy of making the trip over to the Nevada to meet up with him, see how he's doing in life.
I'm with you for that.
Yeah.
I promise we can get crazy Danish scouts Thomas Gravesen on the show.
If we could get him on. He still speaks to Carzo. He still speaks to Carzo.
Oh, well, come on.
Yeah.
If Carsley let him live in Carsley's apartment, and Carsley's one of your best friends, degrees of separation here are minuscule.
Yeah, we tried to. Try and get them both on. Try and get them both on together as well. That was like the ultimate combo for Everton, wasn't it? Carzo and Gravesen, yeah.
Keeping Gillette Mac 3 in business.
Whereas Carsley was actually a bald-headed tough man.
Yeah, Carl. That's why I think there was a general conception that they signed the wrong player. That's what they were saying. They wanted a holding midfielder that could tackle and do the nasty stuff.
There was a guy in that Danish team around the same time called Stig Toftig, who I think ended up at Bolton.
Yeah,
who was that player.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who'd sit in front of the back four and basically chop people's ankles.
Yeah.
Which wasn't Gravesen.
So what would Gravesen do then?
In what way?
On the football pitch.
Just technically brilliant footballer. What David Moyes used to do with him, because he was kind of you kind of had to let him go and do his own thing on a pitch, because he would run out to the left wing, he'd be over in my way, then he'd run over to the right wing, he'd run past the strikers. So David Moyes, when we started to do well in my second season there, he put Gravesen as a number 10 and just said, just go and play, go and do what you want. Basically, that was how you got the best out of him.
My timelines are blurring. He's kind of almost as a replacement of Gascoigne in that Everton squad. Or is that a couple of years down the line?
he might have been in the same squad as Gazza, actually, Rich. I think he might have been there at the same time with Gazza. I mean, Gazza and Gravesen in the same dressing room. That is just crazy stuff happening there.
Firing rockets at each other.
And he's also the strongest man in the world. Like, I'm talking ridiculously strong. He never did a weight, never went in the gym. Like the fitness coach would try and get him in the gym and go, we need to do a bit of have none of it. But he was the strongest man I have. Honestly, he'd wrestle lads and he'd get him on the floor and you just couldn't move.
Why would he wrestle you?
Because he was just a big kid. He was just a big kid.
He wouldn't do it on the pitch, but like he'll bring you down and try and wrestle you in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So he might just jump on you and have a wrestle.
Yeah.
Bit weird.
God.
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking here. He was at Real Madrid. He was at Everton 2000 to 05. When were you? You were Everton what years?
03 to 06 or 07.
Okay.
Like
So he had 5 years at Everton and then did Madrid for a season. I seem to... That was a year, 05 or 06, where I watched every Madrid game. Was just kind of into it, you know? And... he was literally the only player beyond the back four. Well, there was actually the two centre halves would stay, and Gravesen.
Yeah.
And he'd have like 15 players running at him, it felt like, and Zidane and the boys are hands on hips looking back at him saying, come on, win the ball. So that's why I have it in my head that he couldn't really play, because at Madrid he literally just had to sit and try and stem the tide as Beckham and the boys did their thing.
Yeah, no, really good.
Right.
Really, really good footballer, yeah.